look, inside of 60 days, we broke 500 subscribers. I never would have expected that, everybody. I never would have expected that, and I'm very happy. I'm just going to kind of walk around here as I'm talking. This new gimbal is not always doing what I want it to do. So listen, inside of 60 days, I think it was like day 58 or 59, we broke 500 subscribers. That's crazy because we're really just messing around with stuff that we do anyway. Not doing anything special other than talking into a phone, sounding like a crazy person. That's the only thing I'm doing different. Other than that, we're still working on cars. We're still doing what we do here. And that's encouraging. It's very encouraging to us, all of us that are involved. It's very encouraging for us to see that there's that level of interest in just good old-fashioned hard work. Not a big shop. This is my basement garage that we hang out in. You know, I think it's 24 by 30, something like that. Definitely deeper from here to the back. So we're just going to keep on keeping on. And hopefully you don't lose interest as viewers. We don't lose interest as I guess we call it content creators. Are we actually that? We don't lose interest. You don't lose interest. Everything is going good. We've gotten pretty good response with comments. Gotten some emails to the autorefinery.com email. And I've been doing my best to keep up on that stuff. You know, my wife kind of jokes and says, "Oh, you have fan mail you have to return." So it's fun. This is a fun way to keep yourself motivated in these projects. Here we are going to bring you guys along with some maybe tripod action, and we're going to do some cutting on this frame because there's some repairs to do. So without further ado, okay, so better angle here. Our intentions, and we'll show you guys once we cut it apart, we're going to cut some of this rod out of this frame all the way down to there. And we're going to make fancy plates that are going to go in there and make it look like it never was. This is the worst part of the frame.
So we're starting here.
Right. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get to work, and you guys will see some progress shortly. Oh, here we go. First cut. Look at all that lusciousness in there.
Oh,
and this so everybody can understand here. This is after multiple pressure washes, beating with grinders, wire wheels. Yeah, rattling over here on a trailer.
Flipping it upside down, flipping it over multiple
Yeah,
times.
right. And there you go. You start loosening all that nonsense in there. That might have to be edited out. The Silverado part, anyway.
We're not
I don't know why this is not. There it goes. Slow. All right. There's the cut, guys. There's the cut. So very, very well done. Nice and clean. Obviously, that piece is easily duplicated.
got the whole layout.
Yep. So we have our template with all the holes where the crossmember mounts, etc., etc.
Thicker than we thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
Yep. Terribly rotted and hard as hell. So now we can start cleaning out in here and really figuring out what's left. I promise everybody, this is going to look like we were never here. And when we come to fabricating the thing, look, I'm not looking to make a tutorial at all, but we will just show you how we do it. And if you like to do it that way, by all means. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attempt to repair this front frame horn. Obviously, it shouldn't look like that. That's inflicted damage from somebody with a piece of equipment moving cars around, and they bent that to a position that is not conducive to reassembly. So we're going to straighten that out, straighten out the bottom, because it's not bent at the radiator support mount. It's just bent right at the very end. So we're going to do a little relief cut. It's going to be okay. We're going to cut it. We're going to put it back in place, and it'll all get welded up. Good morning. I want to show you guys what John and I got accomplished yesterday on his ELCAMINO frame here. So let's get right into it. And I'll show you that we fixed the driver's side frame horn where the bumper bracket goes. That was, pushed into place, coerced into place, probably with a piece of equipment or something. So we heated that up, we put some relief cuts in it, we gently put it back into place, and we welded it back together. And it looks pretty good. Obviously, the bumper bracket goes there. So you're not going to see that finished work, and it's all going to get painted, but still we want to make sure that we got it as straight as we can get it. You can see, and it looks a little bit more. This is really pretty smooth to the touch, but that's where the original, carriage bolts that hold the bumper bracket on were kind of torqued up and pulled into place. But let me show you guys what the original untouched passenger side looks like. And we just duplicated that, made everything, made a little paper template for what it's worth. This is far from custom chassis building here. The radiator support mounts here, and that's like the skeleton of the face, if you will. And the bumper brackets, these have these elongated slots so you can adjust the bumper, up and down anyway. But, we want to start nice and straight. So, that was a cool thing to fix with John yesterday and make it, like it never happened. So that got done. Happy with that. Did some welding where the factory welds were, kind of crappy there. We're going to finish that up a little bit. That weld on the passenger side that I'm zooming into, that was never even welded. It's like the weld missed. Over here, it was welded nice from the factory. I think originally we said it was in this side, but that's when the frame was flipped upside down. John thought, oh yeah, it was on that side, but obviously we found it. Here's where a lot of the work came in. So this head rot, a lot of it is pitted. I'm sure a lot of guys from the Northeast, where we're from, can relate to some pitted frames. This is heavily pitted. This is the afterthought, not aftermarket, but this is how GM boxed in their frames. It would be a C frame. If it wasn't a convertible or an ELCAMINO, the frame would stop here. And then this boxed section is quite honestly very crudely made and installed. A little bit of repairs to be done between these holes. We thought about maybe making a plate in there and duplicating the holes. We still might do that. This is the other part. The frame actually flares out here a bit. It's not totally flat. So this piece starts coming out. And look at the rot on that. So we're going to make John's original piece, this piece, extended out, kind of to include this. And we thought it would be better to do it separately so that we're not trying to make one piece, wrap around here, and then go that way and flare out. This will get cleaned up, and then once we get this piece in, tacked in, we'll put this piece in as a secondary one and then weld it up. Just to give you guys some insight here, I'm here doing the videos, doing the work, and then I save the file and I share it with Joe, my brother. And he does the channel. It's a combined effort here. I'm in New York and he's in Georgia. A little bit of a challenge sharing files. I'm not a techie. I'm more of a grunt kind of worker guy. And Joe has much more patience for making these videos happen for you. Okay, so an update on John's frame. He was here last night, and he did a great job prepping this. There we go, Butterfingers. So all the holes line up as per factory locations. We're actually going to probably start tacking this in tonight. This is what we do, right? We go to work every day, and then we come home and we squeeze in some shop time here. So that's how that's going to look. Maybe even a little bit better once we get it all lined up. But
no, it's not in completely.
Yeah, but that's
right there. That's
so,
where it is.
Yeah, good. So John was working on that, and then while he was doing that, I was in here. Crawled back under here and kind of show off. I don't know why this thing is doing this, but it's doing it.
Oh, Johnny 5 is not happy.
Johnny 5 is not happy. Come on, come on, come on. Here we go. All right, so here's my solution for the rocker deal. Right, you guys saw that we've cut out the rotted spots where the cross members live. We have these little, let's see, these biscuits here, rotted. So they're cut out, and I made these. These are gonna go in here, and I'm gonna spot weld there. I'm gonna do that 4 locations all across this side. Then the new piece will get welded in here, turned up just shy of a 90, so it can be on the underside of the pinch weld for the rocker. We'll drill some holes in the top of this to spot weld to that, and then metal finish all that. So this is happening simultaneously while John's El Camino frame is happening. We got some stuff going on here. So that's the plan for tonight. We'll check back in and show you some of the progress. That frame piece is installed and it's looking pretty good. John did a bunch of welding here tonight and some grinding, and it'll start looking like it never happened. Still got to make this piece. We'll probably plate inside to the piece to the left and that piece we have to make in there, you know, just to ensure some structural integrity. You know, this is the boxed section of the factory frame for convertibles, El Caminos. And then we're going to move our way. We're going to move our way back here. You know, the dog leg I was showing you guys earlier, that has to be repaired. I made the other plates for the passenger side. I made 4 of these, but this side's gonna need a little bit more work. You know, I have to repair this rocker up here, and this one spot is pretty irregular. The new floors came in. We are excited. The other floors that Joe got, we had to send them back, and they were terrible. And I don't mind saying, these are AMDs, and boy, am I happy. They fit great. They're so much better. There's a seam down the middle. These things line up perfectly, and this is what I was looking for. So, Auto Metal Direct. Maybe I can't say that. Maybe I can say that. But I'm very happy. This is what I wanted for this car. So, they're here. We got them dropped off today. And I couldn't... Joe put a picture in there. I couldn't resist. I had to put them in the car just to see what they look like. So, we'll put a picture in of those. That's the plan. Okay? And I'll just do my best to keep doing little clips of what we do, so you guys can come along for the ride here. All right, let me show you guys what I've gotten done over here. This actually didn't take me very long at all. I'm gonna turn this thing around so you guys can see. Okay, got a piece made for this. Put a little relief cut in the back of it so I could do a little bit of an angle, because this frame does flare out a bit here. You know, it's not perfectly flat. See, it's got a little bit of a curve there, and I wanted the new piece to follow that. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to make a plate to go between those two on the back side. Drill a hole in each one, just like I did over in Mr. Jones on the inside of the rockers. There it is, welded in, boxed in, almost like it never happened. John's holes line up perfectly. So we're good. We're good. Moving on to the next part now. You know, I guess I should include a little explanation here. Check that imagery out, huh? So what I do with areas like this, I put a real aggressive brush on the grinder. Really aggressive. And I lean into this to try to find the weak spots. This spot didn't exist before I did that. And there's another spot on the other side. So a lot of guys will say make the template first. Now I've done that. Make the template first and then cut out the metal. But here's what happens. Oftentimes you think you're making the template large enough. And when it comes to cutting it out, you haven't. The grinder will tell you when the metal's thin because it'll go through it like butter. Other times you have to really work on the grinder. So what I do is I cut it out. And if the metal's not thick enough, well, I just cut it more. And that's really what you have to work with. And you're not working within the confines of a template that you made, kind of sort of on speculation. I know a lot of guys do it differently. This is just how I like to do it. I cut it out to a nice spot where I know I'm going to be able to work with. Then if it's not sound metal, I cut a little bit more. Then I make a template based on that void, right? That has viable metal around it. So I'm glad I stopped and made that explanation. And let me cut it out and then I'll show you how I go about making the template. Okay, so once you have a hole that you need to have, you just take a piece of paper and then rub it, lay it down flat and rub the void. See how you've written the outline now? Okay, it's an old body shop trick. Now you just rub it a little bit, harder, get that imprint in the paper better, and then you'll end up with something like this. Obviously, logic tells you to make it bigger, and you can always sneak up on the void you're trying to fill. So you take this over to a piece of metal, like this, which you'll have in a vise. And again, knowing that I made this big for demonstration purposes, but okay. So now you take this piece of metal, you lay it on there. You have this piece of paper, lay it on there. You cut out your piece, and then you just play. You play with the grinder, and you make that fit nice. I took my cutoff tool and just put a bevel on here because obviously you want a bevel when you weld. So when you grind it smooth, you're not grinding the weld away. That's all kind of rudimentary stuff. But let me make this plate, and then I'm going to show you how it fits. There's the patch tacked in. Now I'm gonna spend a bunch of time welding that all through, and then I'll finish it all up. Well, the inner patch is done. You've seen that. The outer patch is made. I did get that top corner here bent in the way I wanted. It's welded up, and John can do the finished grinding on that. I have other things to do here, not the least of which is some of this nonsense. So I'm just going to keep on keeping on doing what I do, and he can do the cleanup stuff. Okay, so we're making good progress here on the ELCAMINO, and Joe's going to put all of this together, and I think this is going to be the last of the productivity for 2022. We might have another little thing coming out before the end of the year, but this is it for really what we're gonna, it's what is today? Christmas Eve. So got stuff going on, tomorrow and the next day. Can't always be messing with hot rods. Well, I couldn't resist. I had to clean that up. So not too shabby. Not too shabby, huh? Let me show you guys what it really looked like beforehand. Hang on a second. Right, rotted somewhere in here. Pretty good, right? I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Clean that up pretty good too. Okay. Not bad.